Welcome, welcome. We are back. Roll Tide Hayden, how we doing today?
Roll Tide. We are doing phenomenally. It's been a long couple of weeks, long stressful couple of weeks, but we're surviving. We're still here, so doing
We are
great.
still
How
here
are you
and
doing?
we're moving things along.
Yeah,
I'm doing good.
good, good.
Doing good.
It's always good, man. Just
Let's l-
gotta keep rolling.
Gotta keep rolling. We'll hop into today's topic of next moves, what the direction is, and to continue to try and hit our goals for the rest of the year.
Yeah,
So, closing on a property, knock that one out. Um, Obviously, there's still plenty of work to be done there.
yeah. But hey,
Um, but there,
you know,
yeah,
congratulations
a
to
lot of
us.
congrats. A lot of work to be done still, but we got to the finish line as far as closing, and we'll continue on there.
Yeah.
But the business still rolls on, so we got to figure out some next moves and align ourselves to keep pushing.
Oh yeah.
Um, So I guess what is your first idea or first plan of attack uh, now that we have uh, one property under our belt and can keep moving forward?
Yeah. So the the first thing that I think that is on the agenda now that we're closing out this first property. We For me, and I know for you as well, but we never really stopped the. We made sure that we made an emphasis on networking and getting to keep reaching out to people. That never stops. That's always something that we strive for and continue to work on. And meet as many people as possible, not only for investors, but for other syndicators, other GPs, to potentially partner with in the future. So um, I've done a lot of networking over the last month, or over the last couple of months, I should say. Um, and just going back to that network and continuing to reach out. I never really stayed out of touch with anybody that I've connected with, which has been good. So I've we'll just continue to reach out to them, keep building those relationships, and see where that takes us. So that's the first thing. Another thing is going back to our brokers, talking to them, letting every single one of them know that we closed on our first deal, and we're out hunting for number two. Obviously, a lot has to change. We learned a whole boatload of things in this first deal, but we don't want to let that hinder us from moving forward. So, what
Right.
about you? What's your thought on first steps after we close
First,
the deal?
I mean, biggest takeaway from what we've currently been dealing with and going through. First takeaway and first things to move forward is to continue, like you said, to massage those relationships and building a network. I think that's going to be a forever job, I'll say, on our part, as far as continuing to network and build relationships with people because capital is always going to be of need and partnerships is always going to be of need. You could leverage partnerships just as you could leverage money in that sense to keep growing your own portfolio and business, just leveraging others to get to where you want to be. So next steps on my end is to continue to network. I haven't done as much as you have, but continue networking and reaching out to every and anyone in the real estate world, friends, family, um, to try and continue to raise capital and build relationships with people who are in this industry.
Yeah, I think it's also important to note that the more the more flyers you take out, and I don't mean physical flyers, I just mean the more times you talk to people, whoever that is, the more people you meet, somebody's going to know somebody in real estate. 9 times out of 10, you're going to meet somebody who knows somebody who's in real estate, whether that's a real estate uh, broker or a an investor or somebody who's bought a few different properties and they're just kind of like a mom and pop investor. Somebody knows somebody. So continuing, no matter where you're at, whether you're at the grocery store, whether you're at um, the park, whatever it is, just talking to people and being a good person, and really interested in what other people are doing. I think that's the always the step. But in terms of, to get back to our point on next steps, I think it's crucial that we hit that network first. Then we hit brokers, we hit property managers, everybody that we've met to this point, and just let them know we're back on the hunt. Let them know we are always looking, and we're definitely looking, and figuring out what we're trying to look for, what type of property we want, and then letting everybody know. So
Yeah, and I think in line with that, knowing um, and learning from this past raise, but um, understanding what our investors' buy boxes are is a crucial part of that to make sure if we do find a deal that it hits either their buy box specifically or one that we can have investors in on where they're aligned with our goals because um, setting aside what we want to target is important, but also understanding what our investors want to align with them
yeah,
to continue to move forward. And that goes with partnerships as well. If we're able to be general partners with another business or company, making sure that we can align ourselves together to move forward.
yeah. And here's the thing: the first deal, as we were told, as we uh, experienced, it's a dogfight. You do whatever you can to get or to leverage some sort of credibility, to leverage your experience and tell everybody, hey, I either have some experience or I'm looking to buy right now. Let me know when you see something. Let me know when you find a good deal. You get that, you look on market, and then you go to your trusted brokers. You go get a deal and you put it together, and then while you're looking for that deal, you're talking to your friends, talking to your family. You're telling them, hey, I'm investing in real estate. Here's what that looks like. Is that something you're interested in? So it's a dogfight. You're scratching and clawing to get to the finish line. If you're able to get to the finish line, and when you're able to get to the finish line, then then you can use that experience um, to get that next deal. And then it just finding the deals and finding the people get a little bit easier. We're starting to experience because we're starting to see people want to connect with us more now that we have that deal. So it's definitely a good spot to be in. But it took us what 8 months, 9 months to get to this position, and of
Yeah.
grueling hard work and nonstop.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think next steps, as far as moving our business along, is not necessarily going to come any easier. Um, it opens the doors for us in the sense of now we have some experience, we've closed on a property,
Yep.
and have some experience under our belt. But I think moving forward, it's still going to be a dogfight in that sense, and we have to embrace that and know what's coming down the line. But
Mhm.
positioning ourselves in the right light to move everything along and hit our goals is going to be important.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think next, yeah, the next step we take is going to be one of the more important ones that we have this year. Figuring out what we do once we finish a project and how we get to that next project, and continue to push. I think it's going to be pivotal for us because of the time that we worked on the future, but we had to stay in the moment. We had to stay working on what we're working on right now to get it to the finish line. So
Yep,
what comes next, I think, is the most important thing. Obviously, that's going to be always my sentiment. Is the next step is always the most important, but I think this one is rather important. So
absolutely, absolutely. And I
yeah,
think making sure we're aligned across the board as far as next steps is probably the most important, just because in order to keep the ball moving, it's like I said, it's still going to be a dogfight, and it's still going to be um, tough to do, even though we do have experience now. But making sure we're aligned so we can keep our goals focused and continue to push the ball as far as doing those reach outs with brokers, doing those reach outs with investors, continuing to meet new people and network with new people, um, just so we can get our goals accomplished
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah. I've said it before, and I'll say it a million times. If you have that point, or you have that goal, that end goal in mind, whether it's that end goal at the end of this year or the end goal uh, of what your true goals for your company or for your investing goals or whatever it is, if you have that in mind, always the next steps don't get easier in the application of it, but figuring out what to do next and how hard to push and how quickly to push becomes easier in that sense, because then you're just sitting there uh, constantly thinking about how to push the envelope. Okay, if my goal is 2 properties in 10 years, well, I got my first property in year 3, so now I've got 7 years. Let me kick back and wait, time the market and get the perfect property. Well, if I want 30 properties in 10 years, well, that's 3 properties a year. We need to get to stepping. So if you
Yeah,
have that end goal in mind, you're always going to be uh, your path to get there might be crazy, but you're always going to be taking that forward step. So
absolutely.
yeah.
Well, that sounds good for today. I think we'll be back next week with probably some of our learnings and what we've taken away from this process so far
Yeah.
in getting all of this accomplished.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make sure you like and subscribe
Like and
down
subscribe.
below. You know what I'm saying? Roll Tide.